I had made an agreement with Chu Yan to apply to college together, but he changed his application just because of a single word from the school beauty, and he was sure I would follow him like a shadow and change mine too. It wasn't until after registration that he realized I didn't indulge him. After all, my dreams were never just about living for him. When I arrived alone at Tsinghua University, I realized that college life without Chu Yan was more carefree than I expected. Beijing is vast, and my roommates are lively and warm. In less than half a day, they had already planned the campus tour route and were ready to take me to raid the cafeterias. That night, Chu Yan's call came in unexpectedly. Su Qing, I went to your house yesterday to find you. Wanted to go with you to Nanda for registration, but your mom said you already left for school. But I can't find your department or class anywhere. Which campus are you on? I didn't know where to start. It turned out that all this time, he hadn't realized I hadn't changed my application, hadn't chosen to go to Nanjing with him. The last day we were filling out the college applications, the group chat blew up. Damn, Yan Jie, you really changed your application for Luwan and chose Nanda? Weren't we supposed to aim for Tsinghua's architecture program? What about your little shadow, Su Qing? You two promised since middle school to be the Tsinghua twins. Chu Yan seemed to have just remembered, and paused for a moment, then casually replied with a bit of an indifferent laugh. Qing, it's fine. She has my account password, and I posted it all on my moments. Once she sees I changed it, she'll follow me. Anyway, after all these years, when has she ever truly left me? I stood outside the locker room by the basketball court, the light from my phone screen stinging my eyes. The group chat exploded with laughter. Yan Jie, you're amazing, just like you. Yeah, Qingyi's like a personal accessory. She carried your clothes and handed you water during basketball all 3 years of high school. There's no way she'd leave you. I didn't listen any longer, turned around and shoved the shoes I had retrieved for Chu Yan into his locker, then quietly left the gym. That day, I didn't log into that account in my head to check. I didn't follow him and change my application from Tsinghua to Nanda. He probably didn't know. He could change for Lu Wan with just a word, but I had my own distant goal to reach. The dream that supported me through countless nights drawing wasn't just for him. We promised to apply for Tsinghua's architecture program together in second year. A week before filling out the applications, our parents had sat together, carefully looking over the admissions plan. Now, he just casually changed it, not even bothering to say goodbye. In the class group, Da Peng was still asking, are you so sure Qing will check your account one more time? What if she didn't even notice? Chu Yan scoffed, his usual tone filled with confidence. She'll check more than once. I know her too well. She'd be checking 10 times a day, comparing it to her own application, just afraid of making any mistake and not being in the same department with me. He sounded a bit helpless. Y'all wouldn't understand. I've had this little shadow I can't shake off since I was little. I'm used to it. Then, the group chat was filled with more unspoken laughs. At this moment, I sent a message from my second account. Yan, isn't this a bit unfair? At least tell Qing about it, right? Chu Yan sounded annoyed. I forgot, and I don't feel like explaining. If she knew I changed for Lu Wan, she'd keep asking endlessly. Plus, I didn't change just for no reason. Lu Wan's mom is sick, and she's afraid to go to Nanjing alone. It's better if there's someone she knows looking after her. The group was silent for a moment. Yeah, Lu Wan's situation is a little worrying. With her family like that, it's hard not to be concerned. Not like Su Qing. She's a bookworm who just knows how to draw. It doesn't feel right for her to be with the school beauty. Tisk. He even gave up on his dream to apply to Tsinghua's architecture program. Yan Jie, you're so loyal. Reading the chat, I clenched my fists, my nails digging into my palms, but I couldn't feel the pain. A chill ran up my legs, freezing my limbs. I wanted to rush in and ask Chu Yan for clarity, but my feet felt nailed to the floor. In the end, I just silently turned and walked out of the gym, locked myself in my room. Those words kept echoing in my mind. I still couldn't understand. How could he give up on the Tsinghua architecture program he had been thinking about so much? We had stayed up countless nights, building models that filled half of my small study room. Just an hour ago, I was still happily looking forward to the future we'd share, but I never imagined that my dream of a future together would be so easily torn apart for someone else's anxieties. Even if he needed to change, why was it too much to just tell me? I wasn't clinging to him. From elementary school to high school, I had always been in the same school, the same class as Chu Yan. Everyone, including Chu Yan himself, thought I would always follow him, like an unchanging shadow, but no one knew. Other than wanting to stand by his side, I chose Tsinghua's architecture program for another, unshakable reason, and it had nothing to do with Chu Yan. Even without him, I would have gone. I closed the browser I had subconsciously opened, didn't look at the familiar application page again, and had no intention of changing my application for him. He could go to Luwan 1,000 miles away, and I also had my own distant place to reach. Since we each had our own path, there was no need to revisit the past. Once I realized that, the weight on my chest lightened. It wasn't a big deal, just like my mom always said, everyone has to pave their own way. As for the kiss on my 17th birthday, let's just say it was like being bitten by a stray dog. My phone buzzed, and Chu Yan's name appeared on the screen. My mind resisted, but my fingers instinctively swiped to answer. Sue, what are you dragging your feet for? Everyone's here. We're just waiting for you to start the meal. Hurry up. I've sent the reservation to the usual place, the Sichuan restaurant. It was the farewell dinner after the college entrance exams, and Chu Yan's childhood friends were taking turns hosting. But I didn't want to go. I'm not going. You guys eat. Before I could finish, a deliberately softened female voice came through the receiver. Yan, is it that Ching doesn't want me to join your little group? It was Lu Wan. Before Chu Yan could respond, Da Peng's loud voice interrupted. Of course not. School beauty, you coming here will make us shine. Chingy's a bit stubborn. She gets awkward whenever any girl gets close to Chu Yan. Just get used to it. The video shook, and Lu Wan's delicate side profile appeared in the corner of Chu Yan's camera. Getting quite close, she sweetly whispered, Yan, maybe I should leave first? I don't want to make things uncomfortable for you guys. Chu Yan's face immediately darkened, and he put his hand on her shoulder. Lu Wan, you don't need to leave. Su Qingyi's just being weird today. If she doesn't want to come, then forget it. Let's not wait. Let's eat. He coldly threw those words at me, then abruptly cut off the video. An unnamed fire flared up in my head, and I immediately blocked all of Chu Yan's contact info. This was the first time I'd ever blocked him, all because of Lu Wan. Ever since Lu Wan transferred in during her sophomore year, I had lost count of how many times Chu Yan had made exceptions for her. Maybe boys like that kind of girl, cold and pretty. While I wore faded t-shirts and spent my time drawing, Lu Wan always seemed flawless. Even in a simple dress, she looked like she belonged in a fairy tale. For her, I had argued with Chu Yan, gone through cold wars. I even thought he had fallen for her, and distanced myself from him a few times. But each time, Chu Yan would find me, frown, and assure me, why are you overthinking? Lu Wan is just a regular friend, nothing else. Stop twisting things. I just wanted to help her. You know her family situation? I know it looks perfect on the surface, but there's so much gossip behind the scenes. I believed Chu Yan. Lu Wan's mother was sick. Her father had run off with the money, and she and her mother were struggling. So, as Chu Yan and Lu Wan got closer, I didn't really mind. After all, Chu Yan had never lied to me. If he said no, I trusted him. But later, behind my back, Chu Yan and Lu Wan started having more and more interactions I didn't know about. Until now, he even changed his college application for her. It made my trust seem like a joke. The WeChat notification interrupted my chaotic thoughts. Su Qing, you've got some guts? Blocking me? Wait until you get home. It was Chu Yan using Da Peng's account. I expressionlessly blocked Da Peng too. Glancing at the time, I grabbed my bag and headed to school. On the last day for college applications, the homeroom teacher called for one final meeting. There was a traffic jam, and by the time I got to the classroom, Chu Yan and Lu Wan were already there. My usual seat was next to him, but it was now occupied by Lu Wan. When she saw me approaching, she didn't even budge, and her eyes held a barely perceptible smugness. Chu Yan glanced at me, quickly turned his head, his face tight with expectation, clearly waiting for me to apologize first. But I wasn't going to. Perfect. I didn't even want to sit next to him anymore. I looked around, then walked straight to the empty seat next to my friend Zhao Rui in the back row. Far from them. Class, in the last few hours for filling out your applications, please double-check and make your decisions carefully. The homeroom teacher hurriedly instructed, then left. Zhao Rui was complaining about his latest drama when someone lightly tapped him on the head. Su Qing, come out. It was Chu Yan. I turned my head, meeting his eyes, filled with faint anger. I shifted my gaze away and ignored him. I continued listening to Zhao Rui complain. Chu Yan grabbed my shoulder and forced me to face him. Su Qing, how long are you planning on making a scene? Are you tired of this? We're adults now, still playing these childish Cold War games. How immature is that? I was forced to look at him, my tone flat. It is immature and boring, so don't bother coming after me anymore. Our eyes met for a moment, and Chu Yan lost patience first. Fine, I can't be bothered to argue with a stubborn mule like you. Go on, keep acting. Just don't end up crying in your bed later when the drama's over. His tone was filled with his usual sarcasm. I didn't respond, keeping my face cold. After a brief silence, I thought he had left. But then, his hand pressed down hard on my shoulder again. He looked directly at me, his voice unusually serious. Today's the last day. Check your application one more time. Don't make any mistakes. He paused, as if wanting to say something more, but then Lu Wan came over, holding a laptop. Yan, I think there's a problem with my application system. Could you take a look? Chu Yan nodded in, before leaving, reached out as if to ruffle my hair, a habit he'd done countless times before. I turned my head to avoid it. His hand froze in mid-air, and he left behind only one sentence. Make sure you check it in the computer lab. Don't be careless. I felt a chill inside. He probably thought that as long as he reminded me, I'd rush to check it, realize he changed it, and panic to fill in Nanjing, right? I glanced at Chu Yan, who was focused on helping Lu Wan with her screen, and left the classroom with Zhao Rui. Once outside the school, I wanted to take a taxi, but Zhao Rui saw the expression on my face and insisted on dragging me to his cousin's birthday party. I couldn't refuse, so I just followed. After dinner, they dragged me to a newly opened street dance club. When we arrived, I found out that Chu Yan and his friends were also there. A lot of familiar faces, and soon the two groups of people gathered into one big private room. When Chu Yan saw me, his gaze flickered for a moment. He didn't say anything, nor did he greet me. I pretended he didn't exist. On the way to the restroom, I overheard Chu Yan and Da Peng talking around the corner. Da Peng was advising him, still need to talk to Qing, right? She went all the way to Beijing, a place she's unfamiliar with. Chu Yan's voice was full of certainty. Don't worry, I've stressed it so many times. She must have checked it. She's probably just mad because I didn't discuss it with her beforehand. I froze in place. They turned the corner and bumped into me. Chu Yan motioned for Da Peng to go ahead and then blocked me against the wall in the hallway. Su Qing, we need to talk. He smelled faintly of beer. I tried to move around him, but as soon as I took a step, he pulled me back. He placed both hands on my shoulders. The slight drunkenness hit me in waves. I instinctively turned my head. We stood there for a few seconds, and then Chu Yan sneered, still mad? I was going to invite you to the club this afternoon, but you blocked me. You got mad in the classroom. Forgot to mention it. Fine, stop being angry. I don't know where all your anger is coming from. By the way, did you check your application? He looked down at me, his voice softening a little. I kept my eyes down, silent. Just as we were stuck in silence, I heard Lu Wan's sweet voice from behind. Yan, Da Peng and the others are looking for you to play on the dance machine. Sorry, am I interrupting? Sometimes I really think Lu Wan has a radar. Every time Chu Yan talks to me alone, she always shows up at just the right time. I didn't want to get tangled up, so when Chu Yan turned around, I pushed his hand away. But as I passed Lu Wan, she grabbed my wrist. Qing, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to. You've been upset all day, and now Yan's in a bad mood too. Her voice was gentle, but she held me firmly. I yanked my wrist away, and Lu Wan staggered back a step, her brows furrowing slightly, her eyes instantly filling with tears. Yan, is Qing still mad at me? Is it my fault for joining you guys? She made a move as if to apologize with a bow. Chu Yan immediately got angry and stopped her. She's the one who's being petty. You don't need to apologize. Su Qing, why did you push her? You should apologize to Lu Wan. We're all going to Nanjing, so we can look out for each other. You want to look out for each other? You two go ahead and look out for each other. I threw the words out and turned to leave. Behind me, I could hear Chu Yan's angry warning. Su Qing, have you had enough? After a while, Chu Yan and Lu Wan came back. Chu Yan still looked upset, but Lu Wan seemed calm, with a faint smile on her lips. Except for Zhao Rui, everyone started teasing them for leaving so long. When it was time for truth or dare, they deliberately pushed the task of dancing with someone of the opposite sex for a minute onto Lu Wan, expecting Chu Yan to do it. Even Da Peng joined in teasing, but no one cared about my feelings. Of course. In their eyes, I was just Chu Yan's personal accessory. When Lu Wan drew the task to play a dance game with someone of the opposite sex, she looked at Chu Yan. He glanced at me subtly, almost like a challenge, and agreed without hesitation. If this had been before, I would have interrupted with a serious face. But now, I just quietly watched. Lu Wan was great at the dance game, her body agile, her sense of rhythm on point. I downed half a can of ice-cold beer. Watching Lu Wan dance on the mat, occasionally turning to chat with Chu Yan, they moved in sync. Chu Yan had a smile at the corner of his lips. At first, he kept glancing at me, as if waiting for my reaction. But as the game went on, his attention was gradually drawn to Lu Wan, his gaze focused entirely on her as she moved. During the final difficult move, Lu Wan slipped and the dance mat shook violently. She fell into Chu Yan's arms, their position close and intimate. The sound of whistles and cheers almost brought down the roof. Chu Yan's face flushed slightly as he instinctively steadied her waist. That unintentional intimacy used to be mine. Even though I had decided to let go, seeing this scene made my heart clench painfully. I couldn't stay anymore. I finished my last sip of beer and quietly left the room. Zhao Rui couldn't stand the atmosphere either, and came out to join me, grumbling on the roadside. He tried several times to go back but I stopped him. No need. From now on, bridges will be bridges, and roads will be roads. Back home, it was exactly 11:50 p.m. 10 minutes left before the system closed. Exhausted, I threw myself onto the bed. It would be a lie to say I wasn't upset. More than a decade of entanglement isn't so easy to cut off. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. An unknown number. I answered, and it was Chu Yan, clearly drunk, his voice unusually soft. Little fool, don't be mad, okay? Remember to fix your application. Nanjing is nice too. You've always wanted to see the Qinhuai River at night, right? I'll take you there to sketch when the time comes. Maybe it was the alcohol, but his tone was tender, unlike anything I'd heard before. When we fought before, even if he apologized, there was always a hint of condescension. Su Qing, next time don't expect me to go shopping with you, and I'd always relent. People who really care don't want to break things for good. But this time, the more he acted out of character, the sadder I felt inside. Say something, little fool, okay? You always mention wanting to eat salted duck, right? The new campus isn't far from the old store. Beijing is too far. It's dry and cold in winter. Your hands will crack. If you really want to go, I'll take you to visit the Forbidden City during the winter break. He kept talking, as if trying to convince me, but also to convince himself. As if changing to Nanjing was for my sake. I stayed silent, and finally couldn't hold back. I asked in a hoarse voice, Chu Yan, don't you have anything to confess to me? Giving him and myself one last chance. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds, and then a vague laugh. You already know. Why ask? You're making a scene over this. Such a petty person. All right, it's all good schools. You chose the major you like. As long as we're together, does it matter where we go? He babbled on, still avoiding the core of the issue. I couldn't be bothered to listen anymore. The last chance. Gone. I didn't wait for him to finish. I hung up and turned off my phone. I looked at the clock, and the second hand just past midnight. Everything was settled. And that's okay. We'll walk our own paths and get what we want. I turned off the lights, lay down, and forced myself to sleep. With my eyes closed, my mind was filled with images of Chu Yan. Smiling, angry, focused when playing basketball, all kinds of Chu Yan. From naive childhood to tall adolescence, his shadow was everywhere in my memories. I never thought it would come to this. The vulnerability of the deep night amplified 100-fold. The walls I built during the day easily crumbled, and tears silently soaked my pillow. I don't know when I drifted into a restless sleep. When I woke up, it was already noon the next day. My phone was filled with missed calls and messages from unknown numbers. All from Chu Yan. I ignored them. My WeChat was buzzing with notifications. Zhao Rui had added me to a group chat with a bunch of guys, and the messages were coming in fast. Everyone had inged the group for gossip. I clicked in, and saw someone had posted a screenshot of Lu Wan's WeChat moments from the early hours. The group exploded. Holy crap, did Lu Wan just make it official? Which couple is this? After the college entrance exam? Only a school beauty would do this. That background looks like the Zhongjing Hotel. That floor-to-ceiling window is crazy. Quite the bold move. After the exam, they really let loose. It was Lu Wan's screenshot. I clicked on it instinctively. In the photo, there was a disheveled bed and the side profile of a boy sleeping. It was Chu Yan. Even though only half of his face was showing, I recognized him. My heart dropped. Lu Wan's caption was even more direct. 99 steps were my lonely courage. The last step was your response. At this moment, it's perfect. The likes and comments flooded in, and Lu Wan's replies were full of meaning. Da Peng and the others were all there. The last spark in my heart was extinguished. So, they had already reached this point. So, last night, while he was comforting me with drunken words, he was with someone else. What a relief. Thank goodness I didn't change my application. Otherwise, for the next 4 years, I'd be the biggest joke. I locked my screen and threw the phone aside, not looking at it again. The doorbell rang. I opened the door, and there stood Chu Yan. He had obvious dark circles under his eyes, holding a paper bag from the old pastry shop I often buy from. I blocked the doorway, making it clear I didn't want him to come in. But he squeezed past me and walked straight into the living room, placing the pastries on the coffee table. He habitually tried to pinch my cheek. I stepped back to avoid it. Su Qing, getting more and more temperamental? You're not answering calls, not replying to messages. Were you waiting for me to go out and not take you with me, so you could get jealous and chase after me? He opened the pastry box and handed me a piece of my favorite Yunnan cake. All right, stop being mad. I queued up early this morning to buy it. Eat it, then think about where to travel this summer. Dunhuang? Qinghai? You've been talking about it for so long. I didn't take it. He smiled helplessly and tried to feed it to me, but I stepped back again. All right, Your Majesty, if you don't want it, I'll put it down. How about Dunhuang? It's a long trip, perfect for a getaway. I've already called Da Peng and the others. It'll be lively with 2 cars. I shook my head and interrupted. Not going. You guys have fun. I need to leave soon. Chu Yan froze. Why? You've been thinking about it for years. Are you really not going just to spite me? He put down the pastries and reached out to put his arm around my shoulders. When I dodged, he quickly grabbed my phone with his other hand. Enough, okay? I didn't sleep well last night, and I had to deal with you first thing this morning. I'm tired. I replied coldly. No one asked you to deal with me, and I don't need it. Chu Yan frowned. Then tell me, why won't you go? I looked at him, my tone calm. If you really wanted to talk, you wouldn't have told me after everything was already decided. Besides, wouldn't it be better if I don't go? Lu Wan will definitely go with you. Why do you need me there to make it awkward? Chu Yan took a deep breath, and I could tell his patience was running out. Yeah, Lu Wan will go. She wants to see it too. It's not just her. There are other girls coming as well. Can you stop focusing on Lu Wan? Has she done something to upset you? She's got enough trouble with her family. She hasn't gone anywhere in years. What's wrong with paying her own way as a travel buddy? The Northwest is huge. Does it bother you? He was obviously both tired and annoyed, saying whatever came to his mind. I nodded. Sounds great. Hope you all have fun. Chu Yan's anger flared up. Su Qing, I've built you so many stepping stones, but if you keep making a scene, it's just not worth it. I've already bought the tickets for you. The airport tomorrow morning. Come if you want. Don't if you don't. He slammed his phone on the table and turned to leave. I didn't stop him. I followed him to the door and slammed it shut with a bang. From outside, I could hear his frustrated voice. With that kind of temper, how are you going to get along with your roommate in college? His voice trailed off as the door cut him off. Back in the living room, I grabbed the Yunnan cake and threw it in the trash. Who cares? Who wants to watch him play both sides, struggling so hard to please everyone? I decided to go out for a walk. I heard it takes 21 days to form a habit. Breaking one should be about the same. Mom didn't want me going too far alone, so she agreed for me to stay at my aunt's house in Zabo. That night, I flew to Zabo. Sitting in my aunt's small yard, feeling the cool evening breeze, eating freshly made osmanthus sugar, I slowly relaxed. I posted a picture of Zabo's barbecue on my WeChat moments. The next morning, I was woken up by my cousin's loud voice. Sis, phone. That handsome guy from your class called me. My cousin shoved the phone at me, and sure enough, it was Chu Yan. Su Qing, where are you? Everyone's here. We're just waiting for you. We have half an hour until boarding. Did you block me again? Your mom said you're in Zabo with your aunt? Are you all in on this, trying to trick me? I had just woken up, still a bit groggy. No, I really am in Zabo. Chu Yan sounded irritated. Stop messing around. You were at home yesterday. You can still make it here in time. I said I'm not going. I snapped awake. There was silence on the other end. Then I heard Lu Wan's voice, deliberately lowered. Yan, I think Qing is really in Zabo. Her location in the post from last night was. Oh, I forgot. He can't see it. Now do you believe me? I asked. Chu Yan seemed to be choking on his words. After a long pause, I finally heard his voice, gritted through his teeth. Su Ching, don't regret this. I did regret it. I regretted not coming sooner. The exhaustion from the final year of high school was slowly smoothed out by the dry summer winds, the sounds of cicadas, and the crispy Shandong pancakes. Once my cousin knew about my situation with Chu Yan, she was furious. She kept insisting on introducing me to a new guy and dragged me out every chance she got. Zabo's summer was hot and dry, but full of life. We went to the busy 8 Big District morning market, experienced 1,000 years of history at the Chi Culture Museum, and spent an afternoon at the Heyday Tower bookstore. By the end of each day, I was so tired I fell straight into bed. All the unpleasant people and things slowly faded into the corners of my memory. Chu Yan and his group seemed to be having a good time. Occasionally, someone in the group chat would post pictures from their trip. I deliberately ignored them. One day, when my cousin was finally tired and let me rest at home, I accidentally clicked on one of the pictures while scrolling through my phone. Endless yellow sand, a lone smoke rising, and the vast Gobi Desert. At the center of the photo were Chu Yan and Lu Wan, riding side by side on camels. The wind and sand blurred their figures. My heart ached uncontrollably. The places I once promised to explore with him had now changed their leading characters. My cousin woke up, saw me staring at my phone, and scolded me in frustration. It's just a few pictures. Sis, you're making too much of this. Take some photos yourself. We'll make them look 100 times better. From that day on, my cousin became my personal stylist. The ever-present checkered shirt was replaced with a simple t-shirt and casual pants. The thick black framed glasses were swapped out for contacts. Side profiles under the phoenix tree, shadows on the old city walls. After her makeover, the person in the mirror seemed unrecognizable, even to me. The girl who used to bury her head in her drawings had seemingly transformed. Even my aunt, when she saw the photos, couldn't help but praise. My WeChat moments exploded. Many classmates left comments, amazed by the change, and the pictures even made it to the class group. Seeing the compliments, I felt a little shy and replied in the group, "You're exaggerating. My cousin is a great photographer. Chingy's photo editing skills are on point. Are you opening a class?" Lu Wan posted a message. The group instantly went quiet. Zhao Rui directly posted a raw, unedited photo of me against the old city wall, my back to the setting sun, the river breeze on my face, my outline clear. The group erupted. Holy crap, is the class representative unsealing herself? A natural beauty. She must have been hidden behind those glasses. This vibe, definitely a campus goddess in the making. The one who used to be bitter didn't say a word anymore. But Chu Yan and Lu Wan, from that day on, never spoke in the group again. Chu Yan's moments stopped updating. Soon after, I received my admission letter from Tsinghua's architecture department. I ran my fingers over the solemn school seal on the letter, my eyes welling up. All the years of persistence had finally paid off. But then, my mom called. My grandmother was critically ill, and I needed to go back to my hometown immediately. At the airport in my hometown, while I was picking up my luggage, I unexpectedly ran into Chu Yan and his group, who had returned early from their trip. They were supposed to be gone for a month, but for some reason, they had come back 2 weeks early. When our eyes met, Chu Yan's was full of undisguised shock. Even Lu Wan froze for a moment. After a brief pause, I grabbed my suitcase and prepared to leave. But Chu Yan quickly followed me. "Su Ching, you're going back today too?" His gaze lingered on me, with a hint of unfamiliar scrutiny. "I almost didn't recognize you. You look really good." "Thanks," I replied coldly. This was the first time I'd been apart from Chu Yan for more than a week. But at that moment, my heart felt unexpectedly calm. I didn't want to talk. I quickly walked toward the pickup area, where my mom was waiting. As soon as I reached her, I heard Chu Yan's voice behind me. He had followed me. "Why are you rushing?" He was slightly out of breath, greeting my mom first. "Hello, Aunt." Then he turned to me, speaking with a deliberate familiarity. "Did you get the admission letter? My parents insist on throwing an acceptance banquet for me. We had planned for both families to go together, and the hotel's already booked." My mom didn't answer immediately, but gave me a soft, determined look and answered for me. "Chu Yan, Chingy's grandmother is very ill, so we can't have the banquet for now. Thank you for your parents' kindness." Mom's explanation was tactful. She only knew that Chu Yan and I had a disagreement and that he had changed his application. Although I didn't give the details, she didn't approve of Chu Yan treating his future so lightly. Chu Yan was a little awkward and asked again about my grandmother's situation. Mom briefly explained and politely declined his offer to share a ride back. She led me away. I stayed with my grandmother in the hospital for a week. The doctor said she needed to go to Beijing for more tests and surgery. I volunteered to accompany my mom and my grandmother to Beijing. My dad couldn't leave work, so I decided to help out however I could. That afternoon, I accompanied my grandmother to Beijing. Naturally, I missed Chu Yan's acceptance banquet. Even if I had stayed in my hometown, I wouldn't have gone. That night, Chu Yan seemed in a bad mood. He called me non-stop from different numbers. At first, he asked where I was, but when he realized I wasn't coming, he lost his temper completely. Even his mom noticed something was off and called to test the waters. Ching, did you and Chu Yan have a fight? You didn't come to our house after your trip? When you come back, Aunt will give him a good talking to. Don't be mad, you two still need to go to Nanjing together. I've already got you a new drawing board and suitcase. I'm not mad, thank you Aunt, my mom has already prepared everything. I interrupted, I'm in Beijing, my grandmother needs me, Su Qing. The phone was suddenly grabbed by Chu Yan, his voice seething with suppressed anger. You're too much. You missed such an important day, and you're making up excuses? We've known each other for how long? 18 years, not 18 days. Have you forgotten? At that moment, I had just finished settling my grandmother and was exhausted. Chu Yan, congratulations on getting what you wanted. I have things to take care of. Before I finished speaking, he yelled, how much longer are you going to make a scene? How many times have I lowered my head? Do you have any idea how annoying you are right now? I can't even enjoy myself when I go out. Are you planning to keep this up until the school year starts? Don't expect me to help you with your luggage then. Whatever, I said, my voice tired. But in my heart, I remembered that in the Tsinghua freshman group, there were seniors already offering help on orientation day. The world keeps turning, even without Chu Yan. In the midst of his shock, I hung up. Soon, I received a text from an unfamiliar number. Su Qing, if you go to college, don't bother looking for me. When I get chased away by someone else, don't regret it. I deleted the message and blocked the number again. And focused on taking care of my grandmother. The school's honor roll was posted. I didn't go to look at it, but Zhao Rui told me that Chu Yan didn't go either. I heard that the next day, his dad took him to work at his own company for an internship. After the graduation party, he quietly left the class group. I thought, this time, we really had gone our separate ways. Grandma's surgery in Beijing went smoothly, and by the time school was about to start, her condition had stabilized, so Mom took her back to the countryside to rest. I stayed at home for only one night. Mom had already packed my bags. The next day, Mom sent me off to Beijing to report to school. Throughout the entire process, there was no word from Chu Yan. University life was easier to adjust to than I imagined. As soon as I got off the bus, the enthusiastic seniors helped me carry my luggage to my dorm. My roommates were all from the north, bright and lively. In the first 3 days, they took me around the campus and introduced me to all the dining halls. The northern food, which I thought I might not be able to get used to, actually suited my taste. They even dragged me to try out the famous northern-style bathhouse on the very first night. Just after I finished taking a bath, I got a call from Chu Yan, out of the blue. Su Qing, I came to your house yesterday to look for you. I wanted us to go to school together, but Auntie said you had already gone to school. But when I got to the school to report, I couldn't find out what department or class you're in. Which campus are you on? I didn't know how to explain. I couldn't believe he hadn't realized that I never went to Nanjing with him. We're not at the same school. It's impossible. Come on, stop joking. I'll apologize, okay? Chu Yan sounded a little impatient. Hurry up and get to the west gate. My mom brought you a bunch of snacks you like. I interrupted him. Chu Yan, I never changed my application. I've always wanted to go to Tsinghua's architecture department. You know that's my goal. How could I go to Nanjing? On the other end of the line, my roommate called out, Qing. Let's go to Donglation for hot pot. Her thick Beijing accent made Chu Yan go quiet instantly. When he spoke again, his voice trembled slightly. Don't be joking. You knew I changed my application, didn't you? You must have changed it too. How could you go all the way to Beijing by yourself? I calmly responded. I really didn't change. Chu Yan, did you ask me when you changed your application? Why did you assume I would follow you? Besides, you did it for someone else. Chu Yan got anxious. But I asked you that night. You said you knew. How could you not change? Is it because of Lu Wan? I really was just soft-hearted. She said she was scared to go to Nanjing alone. She needed a friend. You know, Even though she's from Nanjing, she hasn't been able to go back since her dad's accident. She was admitted as a special talent, and she didn't have many options. Unlike you, you have good grades. He rambled on, but his main point was still about how hard Lu Wan's situation was. I listened, feeling nothing but sarcasm. Lu Wan's father ran away with the funds, leaving her and her mother with debts, which was indeed tough. But that tragedy wasn't something I caused, so why should I sacrifice my dreams to accommodate his weakness? Chu Yan, I interrupted him. You care about her so much, and now you've got what you wanted. We're just friends. There's no need for us to always be tied together. From now on, don't contact me. I hung up the phone, took a deep breath, and before I could even calm down, my roommate dragged me out towards the east gate, where the smell of meat was wafting through the air. I thought it was over. After all, we were thousands of miles apart, separated by an unbridgeable gap. But the next evening, Chu Yan showed up downstairs in our dorm building. At that moment, I wasn't alone. A male classmate from my department, Lin Zan, was standing next to me. He was from the student union, very capable and direct. He was a bit awkwardly handing me an exhibition ticket. Su Qing, there's a really great architectural model exhibition this weekend. I heard you're interested. Here's the ticket. Su Qing. A familiar voice came from behind me, hoarse from exhaustion. I turned around. Chu Yan stood in the dusk, his face a little pale, with dark circles under his eyes. He was dressed in a sharp suit, carrying a briefcase, as if he had just rushed over from some formal event. The sight of him, dressed like that, standing outside a female dormitory was jarring. Can we find a place to talk? He looked at me, his eyes carrying a rare trace of pleading. We have a class meeting tonight. We can talk here, I said flatly. Chu Yan wouldn't leave until he got an explanation. He glanced at Lin Zan standing beside me, and his brows furrowed instinctively. Already made a new male friend at the start of the semester? This has nothing to do with you. I cut him off coldly. I don't make new friends. Should I keep loyal to old ones? Chu Yan was taken aback, paused for a few seconds, then spoke with difficulty. Su Qing, I didn't expect that you really didn't change your application. I'm sorry. I was too presumptuous. I thought you would follow me, no matter where I went. His voice trailed off. That's what you thought. I looked at him. Why didn't you just tell me that you had a different direction you wanted to go? Do you think I would stop you? Why did you have to play these mind games and bet someone else's future? It wasn't like that. Chu Yan sounded a little agitated, reaching for my arm, but I pulled away. I was too confident about our relationship. Don't you remember? That night when I kissed you, you didn't push me away. I had planned to be with you officially after university, even thought about marrying you after graduation. His voice caught at the end, his eyes reddening. I calmly stated, but you never truly considered my feelings. That's when I realized. You never understood why I had to study architecture. You should remember how my dad left. That partner who ran off with all the project funds, leaving a bunch of unfinished buildings and debts. We fought the lawsuit for 5 years. It ruined my mom, and our family was torn apart for 10 years. I looked into Chu Yan's eyes. I study architecture, not just to be by your side, but to make sure that others, like my mom, don't get trapped in a life of unfinished buildings. Chu Yan was completely stunned, his lips moving but no words coming out. You never told me this. I smiled. He probably only remembered me complaining about my parents' divorce, but never truly understood the deeper reasons behind my obsession. Those sleepless nights, those drafts, were never just for him. Chu Yan. I looked at the boy I had known for 18 years, and for the last time, I laid my heart bare. I still thank you for everything, for helping my mom and me during those difficult times after my dad left. I'll always remember that, but from the moment you gave up our agreed future for Lu Wan, there's nothing left between us but the past. I finished, turned, and walked toward the dorm. Behind me, I heard the sound of suppressed sobs. I didn't look back. Later, Zhao Rui told me that Chu Yan stood downstairs in our dorm building for a long time, until the dorm manager locked the doors. I thought he would go back to Nanjing. But to my surprise, he went straight back to his hometown. A few days later, I received a call from his mom, her voice tired and anxious. Qing, could you try to talk to Yan? He's been sick since he came back from Beijing. He has a high fever that won't go away, and he won't take the medicine. Finally, the fever subsided, but now he's insisting on dropping out and retaking the college entrance exam, saying he wants to come to Beijing to be with you. I held the phone, my heart emotionless, just a cold, weary emptiness. Auntie, that's not possible. I'm not waiting for him. My path is already set, and I won't stop for anyone. Please tell him not to do such childish things anymore. Otherwise, I'll just lose more respect for him. I heard something heavy hit the floor on the other end of the line. Later, I heard that Chu Yan still went back to Nanjing for school. His grandparents forced him to go back. But I also heard he's planning to take the graduate entrance exam and come to Beijing. During the holidays, he even flew from Nanjing to Beijing, standing far away under my dorm building or outside the library, just to catch a glimpse of me, leaving behind some of my favorite snacks or picture books. But I never responded. During the winter break of my second year, Lin Zan and I got together. He's the one who gave me the exhibition ticket, the one whose smile always felt so warm. The last time I saw Chu Yan was at Tsinghua Garden, right by the lotus pond after the first snow. He watched from a distance as Lin Zan clumsily slipped on the ice, and I smiled, helping him up and carefully brushing the snow off his scarf. After that day, Chu Yan completely disappeared from my world. Later on, our family moved away from the old city. I got my wish and was accepted for graduate school, and Lin Zan stayed by my side the whole time. Together, we interned at a top design institute. Sometimes, when I think back on those years, it feels like a breeze that passes over the river, leaving no trace. The future holds even bigger blueprints, waiting for me to draw.